Good morning, everyone. I am Rai. Oh, in case I don't see you,
Good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
some of you all might have recognized that line from the movie The Truman Show. Well, if you've watched that movie, then you might have watched it through a cinema, a phone, a desktop perhaps, or any other streaming devices out there. Take this tablet for example. With its sleek design and vibrant display, it provides a window into a world of entertainment. Streaming services allow us to access movies like Truman Show anytime, anywhere. Whether you're on the go or relaxing at home, the cinematic experience is just a touch away. But of course, let's not forget the classic centerpiece of our living rooms, the television. From the old CRT sets to modern smart TVs, they have revolutionized the way we consume media. High definition display, immersive sound system, and internet connectivity bring Truman's world to life in vivid detail. The next question now would be, what do these two devices have in common that has something to do with our presentation today? It is that they're both an example of the consumer electronics.
Hello, I am Kirsten. Consumer electronics is any electronic devices that is used by the general public. This includes the two devices mentioned earlier, the tablet and TV, along with refrigerators, speakers, computers, appliances, and others. You might be asking now, what's the deal with the consumer electronics industry that we have to tackle this topic? Well, these devices often contain REEs, or what we call rare earth elements, which are essential to their production. However, resource scarcity, or the limited availability of resources required to meet demand, now poses a challenge with the rapid development of technology. In the context of consumer electronics, this refers to the increased demand for rare metals and minerals essential to the production of these devices. Let us now explore the relationship between resource scarcity and consumer electronics. We have stated earlier that there is an increased demand for REEs. A study conducted by Dr. Hack, a scientist from Commonwealth Scientific and Industrial Research Organization, and his fellow researchers reinforces these claims with their paper, stating that world production cannot keep up with the demand, thus straining production processes and supply chains. Well, the increased demand for REEs has affected the supply chains of the consumer electronics field. Take note that these metals are crucial components of electronic devices and for many green technologies. The annual demand for rare earth metals doubled to 125,000 tons in 15 years and is projected to reach 315,000 tons in 2030, driven by increasing uptake in green technologies and advancing electronics. This increasing demand puts pressure on global supply and can lead to a reliance on mining, which can have drawbacks such as high cost, environmental damage, pollution, and risks to human safety. So to answer your question, does it affect us in any way? Well, it might not be affecting you now, but it will have an effect to our nature, which of course will affect us humanity as a whole. Furthermore, a study by Dreyer, a professor of political science at the University of Miami, Coral Gables, Florida, stated that while rare earth metals can be found outside of China, the mining and refining processes have gradually been ceded to it. Thus, it is safe to assume that China has a firm grip on these supply chains. China's lower wages and lax environmental policies make it an attractive supplier. However, this raises concerns about exploitation as mining can be harmful not only to the environment but also to laborers, thereby exacerbating the existing issue. Witnessing the effects of resource scarcity, one may wonder, what causes it? Today, we delve into one of the biggest factors, greed. Is there evidence to support this claim? Yes, indeed. Let's examine the relationship between greed and consumer electronics. As Dr. Will Kenton, an expert on the economy, explains, companies and manufacturers are driven by profit, the lifeline of their business. However, problems arise when this pursuit of profit crosses a line, leading to something called planned obsolescence. But the negative consequences extend beyond our desire for the latest gadgets. Let's explore the connection between greed and the mining of resources such as rare earth metals and cobalt. In a paper by Martin and Isles, They shed light on the exploitative practices and unethical sourcing of these valuable resources. Sadly, greed often lies at the root of these issues. Instances of land expropriation, civil unrest, human rights abuses, and child labor emerge from the pursuit of profit. Consider the production of lithium-ion batteries, which are essential for consumer electronics and green energy. The demand for cobalt, a critical component, continues to soar. However, the majority of cobalt is mined in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, where poor working conditions, violation of workers' rights, and forced and child labor persist.
This is what the world's soaring demand for cobalt is doing to the Democratic Republic of Congo. Under each of these shelters are deep tunnels dug by hand. They often collapse. At the end of them are deposits of cobalt, of which Congo exported nearly $2 billion worth in 2019, and exports are growing fast. But the miners say they're being cheated.
We're working very hard and digging very far to take this out, but we're getting almost nothing for it. The conditions are dangerous, but we're not paid for our level of sacrifice under the ground.
And the sacrifices are great. The miners working here say when they enter the shaft, it takes them 1.5 hours to climb all the way down and then through the narrow tunnels to reach the rock face where they're cutting out the cobalt. End of their shift, it takes them even longer to climb all the way back up, and it doesn't look safe at all. There are cracks in the sides of the earth and it's propped up with tree branches and thin timbers. People here told us 2 miners were buried alive the day before we visited. When they didn't come home from work, their wives came here to find out what happened. They're waiting for the bodies to be dug out. The week before, people told us these men died here in another collapse. As soon as the bodies and debris are removed, the miners keep digging out cobalt. Nobody here can afford to stop. There aren't any other jobs for them. This is the end of a line of about 40 men that starts deep underground. About 1/5 of Congo's cobalt is dug out like this by hand. The government's planning reforms. It says it wants to make the sector safe. One rock's taken from every batch to be crushed and tested at buying stations like this one. Most of them have been taken over by Chinese companies in recent years. The amount of cobalt is measured by this machine. All the miners we spoke to say the machines are usually rigged, as are the weighing scales.
Are they taking us for fools or slaves? When we take our minerals to the Chinese, they cheat us on the quality and the weight. How can we, as Congolese, benefit from this way of working?
Days spent digging out earth or rock without any cobalt aren't paid at all. These men have had better luck. They gather at the mine's edge to divide their cash. On the best days, they say they can make about $12 each, but usually it's less than half that. Much of the cobalt will go into the batteries of the world's latest electric cars.
Now that we have shown the negative effects of resource scarcity when combined with greed, let's take a look into the matter using the big history lens. Other than greed, we know that it is also connected to growing population, growing consumer electronics industry. First, let's consider the ever-growing population. According to the United Nations World Population Prospects, our population has been steadily increasing over the past 3 years. This exponential growth brings new challenges, particularly when it comes to resource scarcity. Just as in the agricultural stage of big history, where advancements were made to meet the needs of a growing population, we now find ourselves seeking innovative solutions to sustainably provide for the masses. In the realm of consumer electronics, advancements have been remarkable. From the first phone to the latest cutting-edge technology, each new invention has brought both advantages and inevitably disadvantages. One pressing concern is the use of finite materials that are crucial for our planet's ecological balance. Although quantifying these advantages and advantages is quite complex, there is a clear increase in demand for rare earth metals and minerals. However, it is crucial to recognize the role of marketing and consumer manipulation in this process. Marketing strategies play on our innate fear of missing out, fueling our fascination with the latest and greatest products. This constant desire for newer and improved versions perpetuates the cycle of resource exploitation and scarcity. So, what can we do to address these complexities and forge a more sustainable future? The World Economic Forum of 2019 provides valuable recommendations for consumers, companies, and governments alike. Consumers play a crucial role by making informed choices and considering the environmental impact of their purchases. By opting for products with reduced environmental footprints and supporting initiatives like recycling and urban mining, we can contribute to a better utilization of these finite materials. Companies too have a responsibility to embrace sustainability. Implementing buyback or return systems for electronic devices can help reduce e-waste and encourage the extraction of materials from discarded products. Additionally, shifting away from planned obsolescence and prioritizing durability and repairability can extend the lifespan of electronic devices. Companies like Fairphone and Framework have pioneered modular designs that allow for easy repairs and component replacements. Governments also have a vital role to play in creating a more sustainable approach to consumer electronics, implementing regulations that promote the right to repair and battery markets as the European Union has done, as a step forward to sustainability. Furthermore, regulations focus on safeguarding human and labor rights within the industry are essential to ensure the safety and well-being of workers.